Master horse racing with daily racing forms Formulator, now free for DRF Bets members. Sign up to get the best bonus in racing with a $250 deposit match, plus a $10 free bet and free Formulator past performances. Go to drf.com/bet to play like a pro today.
Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer at beautiful Belmont Park. We're getting set for the Belmont Stakes on Saturday. We're going to start things off with Friday Stakes action, kicking off a 50-cent pick 5 with a grade 1 just a game. It's race number 4 on Friday. This is at a mile on the turf. Fillies and mares in Italian, one of the better filly and mare turf horses in the country. It's going to be real tough to beat.
Yeah, really good. Fastest on the way in. Probably going to be on the early lead in this race, and it's one of those. We don't have too many of them this weekend, it doesn't look like, Dan, but one of those grade 1 races in New York with a very short field.
Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector for this race, and we know in Italian's running style, she likes to go to the front. Barring a disastrous break from this inside post, she's going to go to the lead. Interesting to note that on the pace projector, the number 3 Spendorella, who looks like the other horse in this race, she's got enough speed to get close to in Italian. Is that the right running style to succeed, however, being placed on a hard chase all the way around the mile?
I mean, it feels like she could be the one who's in the toughest position of anyone in here, Dan, because she does want to be forward. She's, shown in her recent races, particularly, that she doesn't need to be on the lead to be effective, but she's probably going to be in a position here where she has to go after in Italian at some point. We'll see how early they decide to do that.
In Italian's won 3 out of her last 4 starts. The only loss came on an excellent second in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf. And a distance probably a little bit long for her. And in all 4 of those races, she earned triple-digit buyers. None of the other horses in the Just a Game have earned 1 triple-digit buyer. Here's in Italian's last start. It's the Jenny Wilder seasonal debut at Keeneland. She went right to the front. She really relaxed nicely on the lead and sprinted on home.
Yeah, she was sharp in this race from the gate. She immediately established control in there, though. Never took on any kind of really serious challenge. Plenty left in the stretch. You see there, she just finishes it off really nicely. A perfect start back as a 5-year-old now, Dan. She's in great form right now. She was defeated in this race last year. She's obviously, at least in my opinion, she's better now than she was then. It's also at least worth mentioning that in this race last year, she had a stretch-out sprinter from California to deal with in that race. The pace was super fast, and she just got tired in the stretch.
Now, a horse that's hoping for a big pace up front's up next at a price. That's the number 2 New Year's Eve, who started her career with 3 wins from 4 starts, including the grade 2 Edgewood. She's trying to get back to that form. Her lack of early speed is going to put her at the mercy of the pace scenario. If it's hot, I can see her come running late for a piece.
I can too. I'm a big fan of this filly. I do not mind Brendan Walsh taking a little bit of a turn back in distance for this race. I'm sure that they would have preferred that this was a little bit of a bigger field, maybe the chance for a faster pace. But I think you at least have to consider that there's a chance Spendorella goes after in Italian relatively early in here. If that happens and they start racing, it helps New Year's Eve, I think, more than it helps anybody else in here, Dan. I actually feel like she's run really well in her first 2 starts this year without winning.
Spendorella is very talented. Now she has to put it all together from a buyer speed figure standpoint. She won her first 3 starts. Grand Motion sent her all the way over to Royal Ascot. She ran great. She was second in a Group 1 over there. And then she came back and she won the Grade 1 Del Mar Oaks. Now, unfortunately, she had some physical issues after that race, so she didn't start since earlier this year in the Distaff Turf Mile. She got up close to the pace. She ran well against Fluffy Socks. I think some of the argument's going to be, if you get beat by Fluffy Socks, how are you going to beat an Italian? But she might have needed that race.
Yeah, that's fair. Fluffy Socks is really consistent there. And she just happened to be, at least in my opinion, Fluffy Socks seemed to be really sharp in that race and actually ran a really nice race. I thought I felt like Spendorella ran well there too. It was a long layoff for her. That pace was solid. She kept after it. She made a brief lead in the stretch. And I liked the way that she fought through the stretch. Only second best. I still thought she ran well. Can she take another step forward here if she has to chase in Italian? It's the main question of the race.
Wakanaka was second in this race last year, finishing ahead of in Italian, but she did have that fast pace to close into. She's always been very solid for Belmont. She finished behind Spendorella and Speak of the Devil, who's also in this spot. Her last race, I thought the Distaff Turf Mile was okay. Maybe it didn't have a ton of pace, but it's a situation where she might not get the setup she needs here.
Yeah, she was the only one in that Distaff Turf Mile last time who was sort of detached from the rest of the field. The rest of them kept sort of a tight pack up close. She was way out of it. I liked the run that she put in through the stretch. She just missed getting third from Speak of the Devil in there. It was just another rock solid performance from her, but she's going to need some help to win this race.
Speak of the Devil made her North American debut last year at Churchill Downs with a super impressive win in the Distaff Turf Mile. Based on that victory, she was the favorite in last year's Just a Game. She did not run well at all. That race preceded a very lengthy layoff. You have to wonder if she got hurt. She's come back now twice. She hasn't run great both times, but that last race I think was a slight step forward. And if this pace is hot, something tells me she's going to run a lot better.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you would hope that she would, finally get back to something like that distaff turf mile from last year. She ran great that day. Personally, I haven't been thrilled with any of her 3 starts since then. She ran fine last time. I guess it's at least a little interesting that she kept closer to the pace in that race, made a 3-wide bid off the turn, wasn't quite good enough, just held third. I mean, she ran fine last time. Did it make you want to bet her back against this field?
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Just a Game. The answer to your rhetorical question is no, because you're going with an Italian in here. She's the best horse coming in on paper. She might get the best trip.
Yeah, just didn't really want to pick against her. I understand you went with Spenderella. I sort of get that thinking. I think she is the main danger in here. I just felt like she was probably in the toughest position of anyone here, and I didn't really want to take her at what's not going to be a great price.
That's a good point. She's not going to be a great price because she's likely going to be the strong second choice in this race behind an Italian. I do think she has a tremendous amount of talent. Now she's got to put it all together, and if she can stay within range of an Italian turning from, I'm interesting to see if she can wear her down. In Italian, the horse to beat, I'll take a slight stab with Spenderella. It's the grade 1 Just a Game. We're just getting started on Belmont Stakes weekend. Good luck.